What can I say? This is my home, and I felt it as soon as I got in the city limits.
I was just trying to build your legacy. It was always respected.
We got an amazing family. They stick together, they love each other. As soon as they hear some call one or something's wrong.
This entire trip has been surreal to me. From the time I drove into the city limits to just me driving through my old neighborhood, seeing old friends, reconnecting with people that I haven't seen, some in almost over 30 years. It woke something up inside of me that I think was pretty much asleep and even dead at times, and it really made me recognize who I really am.
You got this kid? You got this kid?
Oh,
all right now, don't play. All right, so you see this cover? It's one of those things where sometimes people see things and you don't necessarily see in yourself, right? And one of the things about Eric is that there's a humility that's there, you know, not pompous and all of that, but I know black women, and I know what black women like. And I said, you need to put yourself on the cover. It's about his life. It's about, you know, his writing, his stories, his poems about life. But what will differentiate it from others that do the same thing? You. This is like Tony Robbins and all the rest of them. They're not selling you no winding roads. They selling you them. And so we need a black man that does that for our people, and I thought that that was appropriate for us, by us, all of the above.
Well, the Harrison family really started when I can remember from my father, Roselle Harrison.
He was the one that started it all, huh?
He was the one that started it all.
What are some of the things that you saw in him that, you know, you see in me today?
What I see is that my father was pretty smart and up on things, and I see that in you. Only I see it a little greater in you.
Was he about business? Was he like a businessman and had a lot of business on his mind and different things of that nature?
Very smart in that part. He come from the South. Really run from the South.
Yeah.
So he come on to Detroit, Michigan, and got with General Motors, and he was an inspector at General Motors plant. He's just smart. He was very smart. He picked up on things real easy, you know. I see that in a lot of you guys. We got an amazing family. They stick together. They love each other. As soon as they hear some call one or something's wrong, they're there to help the other one. You know, that's beautiful.
He was just always the biggest brother. Like, he's always the leader. He always encourages us to do what we have to do, and he also lets us know that we are special. As Harrisons, we are special. We have a specific type of way that we move in life, and he makes sure that we will never stop.
See you, man.
See you, big bro.
Right. So, what do you think about the culture and the identity of the Harrison family as a whole?
We're always trying to make sure that sister is okay, brother is okay, nephew is okay. We're also so prideful in that we don't even ask each other for help. We have to check on each other to really be like, are you okay? Then we have to say it 2 times because it's like, yeah, I'm okay. And then, you sure you okay? Then they'd be like, nah, I'm
Right. That lets you know,
yeah. If I'm having a bad day, then you come along, and not even just you. It could be Xavier, it could be Miles, it could be Mike, it could be Jasmine, it could be Isaiah. They'll come along and do something that's gonna make you laugh, and you're gonna forget that you had a bad day, period.
One of the main things I would describe in the culture of our family would be passion. It can be shown in good ways and bad ways at times, you know.
Who you talking? Yeah.
But anything that we set our mind to, we're pretty passionate about it. As far as like growing up and seeing you go to work every day and then still like be able to make drives to try to get us to church and stuff like that, and we was driving probably about an hour.
Man.
You know, that takes some heart and passion right there. And then as far as working jobs that you didn't really like, and you know, still on the side being able to have enough passion and push to go ahead and, you know, still pursue your entrepreneurial business and things of that nature.
Look, boy.
How you doing, man?
I still dunk on you. But anyway, listen. Like I said, this is Miles, man, my youngest.
Be the change you want to see in the world. Everything that you put out is gonna come back to you. Everybody can help somebody.
I don't care about outside voices. I don't really look left and right. I look straight ahead. And that's one thing that you taught me to have tunnel vision. And you know, growing up, my tunnel vision was very strong in relation to the rest of the people that were around me, because they didn't have as strong as a backbone like you were to me. You allowed me to be that backbone to so many people because that mine was so strong. And a lot of times I was just passing your wisdom off to as many people as I can get it to, because I was just trying to build your legacy. It was always respected. Me being the youngest one, they don't want me to hit the same bumps in the road as they did. Like my father, like he always made sure he came home after business meetings and had conversations with me. So now I can get in a room and look people in the eye, and I can get in a room and shake hands firmly. I can get in a room and be the life of the room and still be professional, just off watching you.
All right.
What's up, man?
What's going on, man?
It's gonna be hard sometimes. You're not gonna wanna do it. You're not gonna feel like doing it. Push through.
You are my oldest son. You've probably seen sides to me that even Miles and Xavier haven't seen. You know, they were smaller and you saw stuff from me that they don't even know about. And I think I probably at times maybe a little bit harder on you, different things of that nature. You were kind of the guinea pig because, you know, you're my first.
One of the biggest things for me that's helped me personally is knowing who I am. When we were younger, he used to ask us that all the time. And he
Y'all hated that question.
it used to make me mad. Like, we told you 5 times. Like, that's not who you are. But knowing who I am, even passing that down to them, and especially my daughter. She's dealing with things already. She's in elementary school, you know, dealing with other kids. It's important for her to know who she is. Knowing who I am has helped me personally through a lot of situations. Through basic training, through 2 deployments, through a divorce, fatherhood, sleeping in my car, working out. It's helped me through all that. It's helped me through depression. It's helped me through everything. And that's one of the biggest things that you taught me, that even I passed down to them and to my daughter. I'm still passing it down to her. It's knowing who I am. Because a person who doesn't know who they are will fall for anything. And also with my brothers, going back to just being the oldest, I wanted to be the example. So when I played football, I wanted them to see me running people over, almost knocking people's helmets off. I wanted them to see that. I used to love when my brothers used to run up and down the sideline.
You affected Miles a lot with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it used to make me proud. So even as an adult, being the first one to have a kid, you know, having my own place, doing what I'm doing, I feel like I need to lead by example. And it all started with you. When we were younger, we had chores. And when he came home, since I was the oldest, I had to make sure all the chores was done. So he was teaching me how to be accountable. Even though they had their own stuff to do, I had to make sure that they got it done. So the traits that you taught me, they were able to see from when I was doing it, but also my daughter seeing it. And that's the most powerful thing. And she's being affected by the things that you were teaching me as a kid. Because I'm teaching her the same things that you taught me, because that's all I know. So the legacy that you're passing on is already going to the next generation.
He was like my father at one time, because like my mom, she worked 12-hour shifts. She basically didn't have time to pick us up from school and things such as that. So Eric was a grown man at a young age helping take care of his little brother, which was myself. So he had to make sure I ate. He had to make sure I did my homework. All of these things, and he was only like 16, 15 years old, you know what I'm saying? And I wasn't nothing but like 9 or 10. So he's basically responsible how I am today as well as my father. So I mean, it's like he's always had leadership skills within him. And I tell him to take it to the fullest ability, because I mean, we need him right now more than anything. You know, we got to lead the children into this next millennium and things such as that. And what better person to have lead us and help us lead our children than my brother Eric Harrison.
There's so many people that tell me the same thing that they tell you about, man, they listen to our conversations. The conversations I have with you, my sons, and my dad, and they're like, wow, you got a special relationship with them.
Definitely.
And as you were mentioning that, you made me think a little bit about love and legacy. And, you know, the love piece is there, but the legacy is so important.
Right.
So how are you passing the same thing down to your daughter Jasmine and your son Isaiah, and what are the similarities that you see in us?
Being a perfectionist, basically. They love to, whatever they're engaged in or whatever they're doing, they try to be the best at it. And they definitely get that from us. We played basketball, we tried to be the best we could be in that. Whenever we did schoolwork, we tried to be the best we could be in that. And my daughter has taken that to a whole nother level. Like, she's getting straight A's in school. She's never gotten a B, and she's a junior in high school. So that's just blowing my mind, for the simple fact is, when I was in school, basketball is what made me want to do good in school. So with her, it's just like, she loves school. She's gotten perfect attendance. She's not the average 16-year-old in no kind of way.
Love and legacy basically means to me being able to pass down knowledge and assets down to, you know, the future of your family. So
the assets piece is big, because we haven't talked about that yet, like money.
So and not only saying money, you know, because assets, you know, is more than just money. It's, you know, businesses, ideas that you had that they might be able to broaden and build upon that you didn't even think of, you know. As far as the legacy part, that's love to me as well. When you could pass down what you learned here and everything that you brought to the family, and now everybody else is straight. Now you building that generational wealth.
Yes.
So now that's basically what love and legacy means to me.
Hi, I'm Patience, and I'm 15 years old. I think it's really valuable to be able to express yourself. In photography, for me, it's a big way to express myself because I'm like kind of introverted, but when I take pictures, I really capture beauty, and I feel like I'm speaking through pictures.
You just want something that once you identify who your audience is, what's going to put them in? You're going to pull them in. Because women want to know, yo, who is that? What is he about? What is he saying? Because it's not often that you find brothers that's going to stop and say something or at least put it in a book.
I come from a culture, or we come from a culture, from a family that does not quit. We make it through any situation. We figure out a way, no matter what people say. For example, like when you were in school and you used to tell us about the stories of the burning crosses in your front yard. How about you having to leave and go back, and then I remember the struggles that you told me about at Drake University, about being broke, stealing change to make it. Having me, which is not easy, dealing with a kid and doing all that. And that piece, whether you know it or not, helped me in my decision to do whatever I had to do to take care of the next generation. It's crazy that my daughter has a lot of traits naturally that you got, that my brothers got, that everybody got. She's strong, she's passionate in everything she does. She doesn't give up.
Love and legacy to me means carrying on his legacy, carrying on my older brother's legacies, living for my children that I don't even have yet. I know that every step that I take, every word that I speak affects them. And I learned that in the house. You're not outside representing your first name, you're outside representing your last name.
I want to reach the world mainly through fitness. I feel like fitness to me has made me mentally stronger. It's character building. And I feel like I want to reach people and help them become mentally stronger. Because once your mind is strong, you can will your way through anything. And I seen that firsthand in the military. I met guys who were Rangers. I met guys who've been through all types of stuff. And they were still good because they had their mind was strong. They can make it through anything. And I feel like if I can help people and reach people to love themselves and to become mentally strong, not only in the gym, but in the world, they can become better. When you go to the gym, you're building character. You're building discipline. You're building consistency. And I relate that to life. So when I reach people, I want to help people get through those situations that they feel like they can't get through. Because the gym helped me make it through a lot. And I just want to help use that as a tool to help them get through what they're going through on a daily basis.
My stamp, I want people to look up to me as far as somebody who made it through everything, you know. Having asthma since I was 2 years old, you know, being intubated, having a machine breathing for me 7+ times throughout my whole life, you know, even, you know, legal troubles at times and things of that nature. Throughout it all, I just kept going, you know, I never gave up. I never really got down on myself neither. As long as I'm still here, I can get back to where I was and better. And that's the main thing with me. I always want to progress and get better than I was before. Even with all the losses, it was basically just a lesson to tell me that I can be better than what I was and to not make the same mistakes. But as far as my stamp, I really want to be a role model towards people who have been through the same thing as me, as far as legal-wise and everything, who have done some of the same things as me, and they feel there is no other outlet afterwards, that they can't do anything else afterwards. You just have to have the knowledge in order to do it.
I want my stamp on the world to be legacy. And the only way to have a stamp on the world that's about legacy is being a man of the people. I want to be a great listener. I want to have the information to pass on to my family and, of course, my extended family. I just want to be somebody who can be called on because I want to be what I needed at my lowest point, and that's my dad. So I want to be able to be a real father figure to people whose path may have been different than mine. People whose path may have been a little bit more bumpy than my road. And I'm just working every day to be able to gain the knowledge, because the power is in your brain. It doesn't matter how many times you lose your money. It doesn't matter how many times people say you're crazy. It doesn't matter how many times people speak down upon you. They can never attack your knowledge. And there's strength in that. And I want to encourage people to do the research and things that they really want to be, and to be real with yourself, because that's what I'm building. I'm building brands, and I'm building companies that haven't even been built yet, but they have already been built since I was a young child. And now I'm just living it. And you are who you say you are until you prove you're not. So dream big.
What do you think about everything that I'm doing right now? You know, many people are telling me I should be almost thinking about retiring, but I think I'm probably working harder than I've ever worked in my life.
As far as the retirement thing, I feel like when you're really following your dream and what you really want to do, you never retire at that. It's like you wake up every day and that's what you want to do. If you was just to give up and just go ahead and just work until retirement and everything, once you got there, how satisfied were you going to be at the end of the day with what you did?
Not at all.
Then you would have been trying to start it all even later than what you started it now. So that just shows how closed-minded everybody is, really. Because if you were open-minded, you would know that this is what I want to do, so I'm going to make sure that I do it, and I'm going to do whatever I have to do it. But then that also shows that people don't really want to do what they say. They're just saying it for a conversation starter or something like that. But that's not what they really want to do. At the end of the day, it's all about freedom. Like, if you don't feel that you're free within yourself, then it's almost like you're still back in the slavery days. You're a slave to society and everything else. But when you're doing what you want and you're building yourself and everything around you, then that's when you're really free.
Remember, that's what Express Your Perspective is all about, doing what you love to do for the people you love so that you can build a rich and long-lasting legacy. I gotta do what I love to do. I mean, you know, I learned that from, like I said, when I had the heart attack and was sick. I got sick doing things I didn't want to do. But what I realized was when I started focusing on what I needed to do and what I wanted to do, man, I'm happier than ever. I'm in the best shape of my life, and I have the best relationship in the world with my family, my sons, my brother, and my father, so that's powerful.
I don't want to hear about what other people have to say about us. I'm not really interested. I'm not even hurt by it. But I am concerned about our willingness to say what we have to say for ourselves. And the fear that one can usually express about that, we need to handle that. And so my thing is, like I said, not to ask permission to do this or to say what we have to say, but to do something where we take onus of it and take responsibility for it. Whether the book fair is a success or not, that is my responsibility to make it happen. Whether people help me or not, none of it matters. What is the goal? And I think on a larger scale, when you look at black people in writing and reading, people say if you want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book. So what we have to do is just recondition our people. It's no way that the people who invented writing could not like reading. And so this book fair is about rehabilitation of that, you know, and a restoring of a skill set that we had before anybody. And so when you do this, you get to see it, you get to feel it, you get to watch the excitement, and that's why I do it.
You know, you have blessed me with something that the other two guys haven't, and that's my first grandbaby. My granddaughter means a lot to me. When I see her smile, when I see her mannerisms, when I see how happy she is, number one, that lets me know that you're an amazing father and that you pour your heart, your soul, and your spirit into her, and that's amazing. You know, I'm always the proud grandpappy, and you know, I brag on you and her because of what you have been able to do, especially with some of the things that you've experienced. You have still remained an amazing father, so I commend you on that. So what I would ask you to continue to pass down to her and pass on to her and even the other people in our family is just your stalwart thoughts of, I am not going to fail. That's what I see in you. Like, you have hit wall after wall after wall, and sometimes you have fallen down to your knees and it's hurt you to the point where it's like, wow, but you always get back up and you keep going. And you have, at your age, you have accomplished some amazing things. You've been to places in the world that no one else in the family has been. You have experienced things that no one else in the family has experienced. And I want you to take those experiences and pass them on to everyone in our family, because the biggest and the best way to grow is through exposure. Your exposure that you passed on to the rest of us has now helped us all grow and become stronger and better. And the Harrison family has been enhanced by what you have given us. Again, share that. Share about how stalwart you are. Share about how you almost felt like giving up, but you just didn't. And that's gonna help some lives. That's gonna change some lives. That's gonna save some lives, for sure.
When Grandma Tisha passed, I saw how it affected you. And I tried to be the light in your day during that time. And it just got quiet for us. And like, when Dad stops talking, there's something going on. So for me, like, my goal was just to get you back to Dad. Like, whatever I had to do. Like, I tried to overboard, like, doing the gym stuff, because that's, like, our relationship was really, like, towards my dream. You know what I'm saying? So I tried to, like, chase my dream harder, because I seen that you was taking a hit. So when you was taking a hit, it was like, oh, it's time to grow up. Like, I'm not a kid anymore. I gotta fix this. Just going through that time, I would go in my room and, like, plot. Like, how can I get him back? And, like, I've been plotting on you, because I'm the one that knew. I was the one that was just quiet. I was the one sitting at the table, but I was there. You're the reason why I was able to bring you back, because I saw you bring so many people back. My thing was, let me bring you back to your young self, your young dreaming self, because that's the one that's gonna shake the world. So, like, when you was going through your twist, I was going through my growth.
Yeah, that's great.
And you was going through yours too, though. Because we know when the strongest adversity hits, the biggest comeback is coming. And you never gave up, because we failed a lot of times.
Still do.
And it doesn't matter what nobody had to say about you. It doesn't matter what people's opinions were. You took care of us. So regardless of the twist, we still had a roof over our head, we still had food to eat, and we still had a dad to talk to. And, like, that's the thing that I'm most happy for, because so many people don't have that.
Chicago, Chicago, Chicago. What can I say? This is my home, and I felt it as soon as I got in the city limits. From the book fair to the interviews that I've done with my family, this has been one of the most enriching times in my entire life. And I hope that each and every one of you that have watched this video can feel what I feel. Because again, it's all about love and legacy and what we pass on to you from us. So thank you, and hey, stay on the lookout for us, because we're coming with more. See you soon.
It's a real good day to reminisce on the old days, days, yeah. A real good day to reminisce on the old days, yeah. Old days, old nights, old summers, the good life. Oh, a real good day to reminisce on the old days, yeah.
Life's too short to get it all right. First time around, you better not mess up. Wanna be born again, I want a second chance, 'cause this time around win or lose, it should be worth the fight. Heaven or hell, oh, you better not mess up. Been through enough fight.